The Bull Session continues on The Richard Syrett Show. News Talk, Saga 960 AM.
Hey, welcome back. Many of us have been left to wonder over the last year and a half, where are all the protest songs? What happened to the rebels? Well, I'm delighted to say that the protest song is back and in fine fettle. Bradley James Skistimus is a very talented singer, songwriter, a performer from Dallas, Texas, who performs and records under the alias 5 Times August. And I'm delighted that he's back with us today again. He's been with us in the past, and he's going to perform his brand new single just out today, and always a pleasure to have Bradley back on. Hey, Bradley, how are you?
Great. How are you doing today?
I'm very well. What do your friends call you, Bradley or Five?
Brad is fine.
Brad. All right. And again, just the name 5 Times August. Where does that come from?
It's something that I came up with when I was 18. 5 Times August has been around for 20 years, since I was right out of high school. And I didn't want to promote Bradley Skistimus, because I thought that would be too much of a tongue twister for most people. So I was playing around with a one-man band kind of name, and my birthday's August 5th, and had different little things scribbled out on a piece of paper, and thought 5 Times August sounded cool, and it stuck with me all this time.
And have you always been performing sort of this in this vein, sort of folk kind of protest type songs?
No, not really. I mean, I started out as like just a acoustic songwriter, writing love songs, ballads and more pop arrangement kind of music. And I've bounced around different styles. I've done jazzy projects that have been very throwback, inspired by soul of the 60s and 50s. And I've even done kids music. So I'm just sort of my own songwriter, and I just do what I feel like doing at that time. And I've really loved the last year of the projects that I've been doing, because it's just so it's pick a few chords and write down, what you're feeling, what the truth is. And I've never felt it's very liberating to be able to do that now, and this far into my career after 20 years, to just be like, you know what, I don't have to impress anybody. I'm just going to, pick a few chords that anybody can play and not overthink it, and write down what I think is happening in the world. So it's sort of a new thing, the protest thing, but nobody else is doing it. Nobody's speaking up. So I feel like I've sort of enlisted my music into this era of time to sort of, speak up for people who can't.
And I first heard of you when you released Jesus, What Happened to Us, and then God Help Us All, both, about the lockdown and about the, the power of television and how we do what we're told, and the cancel culture and social justice warriors and all of that wrapped up in these messages. And now you've got a brand new one out. We're gonna get you to play it in a little bit, maybe after the break. But I just wanted to ask you, and how your followers, your fans, have reacted to this, because as you say, before you were writing love songs and you're doing children's songs, and now it's kind of political, right? So how are your fans responding to this? Are some kind of taken aback, or? Oh
yeah, I mean, I've lost some fans for sure, but in exchange, I've gained a whole bunch more, which tells me a lot. For every one message I get that tries to make me feel bad or shame me for speaking up right now, I've got 10 other people that are like, hey, I just discovered your music. Thank you so much for speaking out and saying these things. So, it's a fair trade. Some people don't want to, it's like I was they'd be cheering me if I was saying something that they agreed with, but because we have this, disagreement now, I'm out. I've had people write me and say, oh, I'm deleting all your music. And it's like, well, then maybe you need to go through every single piece of entertainment you have. You owe every other, CD in your collection or music. You got to go through now and figure out if they, specifically align with every single thing that you believe in. Because if you're going to throw me out because you disagree with what I'm saying now, then you might as well do it with all of your music and entertainment.
When was the moment or the impetus, if you will, that you said, you know what, I can't remain quiet anymore about this. I'm going to start writing and performing music about what's happening and how I feel about what's happening. Was there a specific news story? Can you harken back to a specific moment?
I think it was just the last year. In 2020, around I think March or April, I released a song called "We Are in This Together," and I was always a pretty optimistic person, and everybody was saying, "We are in this together. We are in this together." And I thought, like at the beginning of all this, I thought, we're going to come out of this, more together than ever. This is the great equalizer right here. We're all going to come out on the other side. And this was just before the George Floyd stuff happened. And I released this song thinking like, this is going to be my little "We Are the World" kind of song. And I released it and nothing really happened with it. Then the George Floyd stuff happened. And then over the last year, we all got so divisive, even more than ever before. And it kept happening and kept happening. And, at the beginning of the year, I didn't plan to release any new music. I just kind of thought like, I felt like I had to say something, because by the beginning of 2021, I was looking at the world going, this isn't the world that I want to set up for my kids. I'm a dad now. What am I saying with my art, with my music? And I kind of sat on it and sort of prayed on it. Like, is there a song here that can be, that I can channel? And the first one I wrote was "God Help Us All." And it sort of felt like a little spiritual partnership of can we stop and look at ourselves? And we're at a point now where we better start praying or something to get past this, because there's no other option. So that was the first one, and people connected with it. And I just I felt like I had crossed a line artistically as a songwriter, with more substance than I had ever had previously, that matters more to what's happening right now than just, I hope she falls in love with me kind of songs.
All right. When we come back, we'll get you to premiere the brand new one live on the air. Are you good for that?
Fantastic.
All right. Bradley Skistamas, 5 Times August, back with more of the Richard Syrett Show in 3 minutes. Don't go away.
Just having a little chin wag on the Richard Syrett Show. News Talk, Saga 960 AM.
Hey, welcome back. And we are back with Brad Skistamas, a.k.a. 5 Times August, a very talented singer-songwriter from Dallas, Texas, has a real Bob Dylan feel to much of his music. And previously, we played a number of his songs on the show, including "God Help Us All" and "Jesus, What Happened to Us." And now he's got a brand new one out called "I Will Not Be Leaving Quietly." Brad, just tell us a little bit about what this song is about.
Yeah, this is just a protest song against censorship and suppression that's happening right now. I did a music video for it, featuring all of the footage I could find. A lot of it coming from a documentary company called Oracle Films, who's doing great documentaries right now that everybody.
Oh, I think you froze there. I think we lost your audio.
Should check out.
Oh,
did you lose my audio?
No, now I can hear you. Yes. Okay. So you mentioned, I can. You mentioned Oracle Films, the documentary. You grabbed some footage from their documentary to make the video, and this is up at on your YouTube channel.
Correct. YouTube.com/5timesaugust, and that's what the video is. But this is just for everybody who's fighting for truth, fighting for freedom out there all across the world. And I just wanted to give them sort of an anthem to chant while they're out there.
Well, your music is very anthemic, and here's the new one, "I Will Not Be Leaving Quietly," 5 Times August, live on the Richard Syrett Show.
You can hate me, try to break me, talk me down and denigrate me. You can try to silence every word, but I will not be leaving quietly. No, I won't leave. I won't leave. I will not be leaving quietly. You can mock me, try to outsmart me. You can shame me, try try to blame me. You can do your best to shut me up, but I will not be leaving quietly. No, I won't leave. I won't leave. I will not be leaving quietly. I'm gonna stand here and I'll fight for every word. I'm gonna shout the truth until you know it's heard. I'm gonna stand here and I'll fight for every word. I'm gonna shout the truth until you know it's heard. Yeah, yeah. You can scold me, attempt to control me, ban me and censor and label and troll me. You can push me and try to kick me out, but I will not be leaving quietly. No, I won't leave. I won't leave. I will not be leaving quietly. You can mute me, strike and dispute me, dumb down the rest, yeah, but I'll keep refusing. You can pretend like you've seen the last of me, but I will not be leaving quietly. No, I won't leave. I won't leave. I will not be leaving quietly. I'm gonna stand here and I'll fight for every word. I'm gonna shout the truth until you know it's heard. I'm gonna stand here and I'll fight for every word. I'm gonna shout the truth until you know it's heard. Yeah, yeah. You can hate me, try to break me, talk me down and denigrate me. You can try to silence every word, but I will not be leaving quietly. No, I won't leave. I won't leave. I will not be leaving quietly. No, I won't leave. I won't leave. I will not be leaving quietly. No, I won't leave. I won't leave. I will not be leaving quietly.
Yeah. Wow, well done. 5 times August, Brad Skistimas, and I will not be leaving quietly. Brad, if I could just hold you on for a couple minutes on the other side, just want to tell folks how they can how they can hear this music, and a few more questions remain. Brad Skistimas, 5 times August, stays with us. The Richard Syrett Show continues right after these.
Let's rejoin the conversation on The Richard Syrett Show on News Talk, Saga 960 AM.
Hey, welcome back. Just a few minutes remain with 5 times August, Brad Skistimas. Is that Greek, by the way? Skistimas?
It's Lithuanian.
Ah, Lithuanian. I think I asked you that the last time, but my 57-year-old brain is not retaining information. All right. It sounds somewhat Greek. So how do people listen to your music? How do they buy your music?
Sure. They look it up on all the digital websites. I've got these videos I've been doing. They're all on YouTube, youtube.com/5 times August. All the singles are out there on Spotify, Amazon, whatever other ones, Apple Music. It's all out there. So my last couple of releases have all been digital. I think what I might end up doing at some point is culling all of these singles together to make a physical album, whether that be CD or vinyl or whatever. But I haven't released any physical music in a while, so it's all digital right now.
An album. Wow, there's a word I haven't heard in a while. Are you signed to a record label, or is that even a thing anymore? I guess with in the digital universe, you don't need to be, right?
Right. Yeah. No. My whole career has kind of arced in this crazy way, where I started out, when I was 18, going, I'm going to get my record label deal and have my hit single and all that stuff. And by the time I reached a point, I've been independent the entire 20 years of my career. By the time I reached a point where I was talking to record labels, I didn't really need them anymore. I had distribution and national chain stores for my older CDs and albums, and I was touring the country, and I had done it all by myself. My wife had basically been the manager of everything, handling the contracts and everything. So we had a mom and pop operation going for a long time, and that's the way it's been. And especially these days, it's that's the way it is now.
And do you have like a real dedicated following in Dallas, Fort Worth, that area, or like where do you perform?
It's been crazy. I got my start here in Dallas, but I never had, a strong following here. I've always sort of, it's amazing to see where my music sort of gravitates to. I've had a lot of people right now, particularly in Canada, connecting with my music. So that's where I'm starting to cull a new fan base from, is up north from, long ways away from Texas. But it's crazy to see. My music has connected with different people over different time periods. So, 20 years ago, it was college students all around the U.S. in different areas. And then when I was doing kids music, it was parents that would find me through that. And, now I've got a whole new audience brewing from this music. And, the fans that have been with me the longest, that are still with me, we're closer than ever because of what I'm singing about. So it's kind of cool to see that connection get tighter with some fans while other fans are bailing on it. But it's cool. It's cool to still be here after all this time.
Right. Well, I hope when things open up finally and the U.S.-Canada border opens up, you'll come up here and perform.
Yeah, I would love that.
So we were talking about, that moment or that period when you decided to start writing these protest songs. Was that accompanied also by a sort of a sea change in your politics? Because you sound very conservative. Were you always conservative, or did that also transform?
Yeah, I think I fit into the silent majority of people that, especially in the music industry, you just sort of behave yourself if you disagree with what the norm is. The music industry and the whole entertainment industry is typically a largely left focused thing. And that was never a problem with me. I had plenty of friends on both sides of the aisle. It was only until I started slowly speaking up, with my posts online and stuff like that, the discourse started with, acquaintances and fans and things like that. So while my tolerance was there the entire time, and I could communicate back and forth with plenty of people, once I started speaking my mind, it was over, between me and a lot of other people. But yeah, I've always kind of sort of been conservative in my way of thinking. I've grown up here in Texas and just sort of had that sort of foundation growing up of certain expectations and certain moral expectations of things that I think have, now it's just sort of me letting it all out, I think.
You have your next composition kind of all planned out?
I do. I have several more songs written. I just have to pick which one I want to do next. I'm sort of, now that I'm releasing, I started with the one with God Help Us All, and I thought, how do I want to follow that up? And now I'm sort of sequentially thinking of it as an album. So the last one that I released was Out of Your Damn Mind, which was an upbeat sort of ruckus kind of song, raw ruckus song. And I thought, well, I want to release something that's still kind of get your blood going, get your heart pumping. And so, I followed it up with this one. There's a 4 on the floor beat throughout this latest one, if you listen to the recording. And we'll see where the next one is. I've got a few kind of more introspective ones, so we'll see what happens.
Fantastic. And how are things in Texas right now in terms of the Delta variant and hospitalizations? Things pretty well wide open still?
Yeah, I find myself in these conversations where, I'm telling people like, look, it's about 85% feeling pretty normal around here. And people are just sort of back to doing what they're doing. I've been, part of the change of watching people in the stores feeling like I'm the only one in the store that's not following the rules, to seeing more and more people sort of surface. And once we opened back up in March, 100%, people just sort of were like, okay, I'm done. So, yeah, it's feeling pretty normal, feeling pretty good. And it seems like we've got things under control down here. So, I'm pretty comfortable overall, hoping we stay on this trajectory and we don't get any surprises.
Fantastic. All right, Brad, once again, thank you so much. And people can find the new single, I Will Not Be Leaving Quietly, as Spotify, Apple. They can see it also with the video on your YouTube channel, 5 Times August. And I can't wait for the next one, buddy. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Richard. Appreciate it.
All right, 5 Times August, Brad Skistimas.